button on your right.
Here. Here. Minutes of the previous meeting from November 4th.
I'd like to move approval.
Approval or motion to and support. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, we'll move on to opportunity for individuals to address the commission. Have anybody like to address the commission? Once, going twice. Moving on. Do we have any communications?
No communications or committee reports.
Okay. New business. We're going to kind of switch around what was in the agenda, and the city of Burton is here, so we're going to master plan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The City of Burton is updating their master plan. It's a major update to their previous master plan, one that we reviewed and endorsed before. This master plan is for the 2025 to 2045 period. It includes some important demographic, physical, economic, and social aspects of the community. One of the key factors that they included was two unique depth target assessment and a retail market assessment. The in-depth target assessment identifies trends and strategies for retaining residents and increasing housing stock. That's something that obviously all Genesee County communities are interested in. And then the retail market analysis provides a summary of market observations of their major shopping corridors, the Saginaw Street corridor and the Center Road corridor. And this also includes a 5-year strategic plan with specific goals and strategies that have deadlines and responsible parties for completing those. This master plan has met all of the requirements of our master plan review, and we were notified in time with the intention of this update. So pursuant to the provisions of Public Act 33, staff is submitting the following comments and recommendations to the Genesee County Metropolitan Planning Commission for consideration of the City of Burton Master Plan. This fulfills all the adoption requirements and serves as a complete policy document for the future city land use and planning efforts. It provides data, maps, trends, goals, actions, which help manage development within the city. It's consistent with the existing and future land use plans of the surrounding local units of government. We have not received any comments from adjacent municipalities regarding this draft plan. We would also like to comment that we recommend the City of Burton review the document to ensure narrative consistencies and data accuracy.
I'll do a quick introduction. So today we're going to have Damon and McKenna on our team do a presentation on our draft master plan. Damon, do you want to start off?
Genesee County, or Genesee Our County, Our Future, is a vision for our county for the next 25 years. We intend this to serve as our master plan and as our long-range transportation plan for the next 25 years. we're one of very few counties in the USA to actually do a plan like this, where we've combined all of our different program areas. So community development, transportation, environmental issues are all in this one combined document. All of this work was done by staff, so this was not contracted out to a different agency. This was all written and designed by staff. So we've been working through this over the last year, working through our steering committee for the master plan, going through different technical reports, which has the very detailed data in it. This is kind of our summary document, which is more of a public-friendly, easy to read. So, how we kind of laid this out is in the beginning we have what we call the first impressions, which is kind of the 5 key themes that we like to talk about. So first we have population. Um, so we're the 5th largest county in the state with over 400,000 people. Like many, we're facing issues with a aging population. So we have lots of demographic shifts happening. So we like to think of this as an opportunity to attract new residents, retain young talent, and support all of the different generations that live in our communities. The next first impression, we have our advanced manufacturing district. So we're hoping to attract new economic developments here. We've got all of the things, all the infrastructure, the roads, the water, the electricity that's necessary to support large economic development projects. Um, we're home to the most premier advanced manufacturing district in the United States with over 1,300 acres near the intersection of I-69 and I-75. And so this investment, we're hoping, will create thousands of jobs and add millions of dollars of new revenue into our economy. Next first impression would be broadband. So Genesee County, as we move towards a digital age, we're committed to increasing and expanding our broadband infrastructure and our fiber networks. And Genesee County has established a broadband initiative aimed at extending fiber connectivity for businesses and residents. Broadband task force, as you know, is this right now. The next first impression is infrastructure. So Genesee County has made huge investments over the years in our infrastructure. As I said, roads, electricity, water. We have great infrastructure in all those areas. Over $420 million of water infrastructure investments have been made just over the last several years, with like ARPA funds coming in and local units contributing funds as well. So that's over $400 million of investment. So because of this, we're well positioned to partner with new economic opportunities to attract new businesses. Finally, we have housing. So we're well situated to address key housing challenges in our community. Even though we have a shortfall of about 7,000 affordable housing units as of right now, we do have programs in place to hopefully change that. We have a housing impact fund, which is over $100 million of housing investment that's we've been working on over the last year. We have several other programs that we're hoping to expand different types of housing, not just single family, but hopefully increase density in our urban areas. So public engagement. Through all these first impressions and through our visions for future efforts in the county, we held a robust public engagement process for this master plan. We had over 3,000 engagements through our social media platforms, over 2,000 attendees at our 3 public open houses that we held to kick off the plan. Over 650 residents responded to our community surveys, which there were different versions of the survey. We had one for elementary students, one for college-age students, and another for the population. We also notified our residents, over 14,000 residents, of projects that would be happening in their community. So through our consultation through this process, once we received our call for projects applications, all of our community any residents that will be impacted by those projects are notified by mail and given an opportunity to comment on those projects. So for the rest, I'm going to turn it over to McKenna.
Damon. So this document is sometimes referred to as our summary document. It is comprised of data from our technical reports. And these technical reports utilize local community data and mapping. Maps and data can be downloaded by local units to utilize in their own plans for no additional costs. Part of our master plan shows the future forecasting of projects in Genesee County. As you can see, projects are spread out throughout the county, and there are investments in almost every local unit of government. There's an anticipated $2.1 billion in future investments over the next 25 years. We go into more specific detail in the document itself, but each point represents a project. One project I will point out. This accounts for about $300 million of this $2.1 billion anticipated budget. As with all of our anticipated projects, we are within fiscal constraint, ensuring that we stay within budget while trying to fund as many projects as possible throughout the county. So everything we do in Genesee County is considered through the lens of our county priorities. With this master plan, we look to the future and establish visions and actions. And those are kind of based off of the Genesee County priorities that have been established, as well as what has been contributed during the public engagement process. So these 5 visions, community development, economic development, environment, quality of life, and infrastructure, were based on the original feedback, as well as the county priorities, and put together for the visions to meeting our goals as a planning commission as the county. And for these visions, we had actions established. These actions give steps towards achieving these visions to elected officials, agencies, and residents, so everyone within the county can make a difference. So what is next? We are anticipating, we are trying to go out for public comment. So we will be attending these meetings listed here below before we go out for the comment. Our public comment period is anticipated to start on December 22nd and go through February 23rd. The 63 public day comment is a requirement for the master plan by the Planning Enabling Act. We have 2 of the 3 proposed open houses scheduled as of now. The Flint Farmers Market will be on January 27th, starting at 11:30 to 1, and the Fenton Community and Cultural Center will go from 4 to 5:30 on January 20th. After the public comment period, we have a public hearing that will be February 24th, 2026, tentatively, and we are seeking to get final approval for the plan in April. Part of this is, receiving comments, and how do we receive those comments? Those can be sent directly to the Genesee County email, or we do have a comment box on our site that residents can drop a comment on, and it will get sent to our office. So at this time, staff is recommending that this document is opened for public comment by the Genesee County Planning Commission.
Okay, thank you. Well, are we being asked to? We're not really looking for action. Motion approved, that's supported. Discussion. I've got a few things, so else may want to go first.
So, so this document, I heard someone say, I think it was Damon said at the beginning that few counties in the country have done a report like this. And so can you explain a little bit more, or maybe Derek can explain a little bit more about the value of having this report and what it can help us do in the future?
When we say a few counties, somewhere between 16 and 20-ish. And the counties that we've seen do this are what I call major metropolitan like cities that are the entire county. So those are going to be like your million plus population. So the value in doing it allows you to look at things towards a common goal and try and align resources towards that goal. So in the past, we would do a community development plan over here, we do a transportation plan over here, we do some stuff on the environment, but there wasn't necessarily that common goal of how do we make Genesee County better, and how do those pieces fit together. So when it's individually, community development might be we need to fix houses, right? Or transportation needs to expand a road, or the water line needs to go in. But when you put them all together, now you can start to see, okay, they all have to work together to go towards that common. You need the infrastructure, you need the water, you need the broadband, you need the housing, you need all that to be kind of wrapped up into one. And I think by doing that, now you can actually start to get everybody kind of moving in that common direction. As residents, it's so much easier to say what is the plan, as opposed to what is the plan for transportation, what's the plan for community. That's kind of in a nutshell.
Is it also, is this report also a requisite for getting some federal funds?
Yes, 100%. So of those $2.1 billion, that is a requisite for those funds. In order to get that funding for Genesee County, they have to be in this plan and they have to go through this process.
It's actually very similar to my question because it's a pretty holistic. But I do have a follow-up question, and this might just be an old strategic planning consultant asking a silly question, but I do not understand the vision. Where is the vision? Like in my mind, and this might just be. A vision statement describes a future as if it were the current state that's going to be. So, what is the current state that is going to be at the end of this plan? And the reason I got on that thinking is because a huge problem is our shrinking population, and it seems to me that we should have strategies that are specifically trying to address falling population, aging population, and I would wonder how is the world different when
A lot of the sections are written so that, and I spent a lot of time on this last night, too much. Until my daughter's FaceTime me, which was late today. If you read some of the different sections, it talks about the fact that it's very good at saying, here are the problems that we've seen, here's why they've occurred, and here's what we're doing to address them. I don't know that ever in here it specifically said, here's what we're driving for, which you would say you need that bottom line.
Yeah.
Here's the vision. But oh my gosh, I mean, I can keep going on, and I will after I give other people a chance to say something. But there's so much in here.
it's awesome. It is awesome.
With some more work and maybe a little reorganization, this thing is totally award-winning. I have other questions, but that's what I saw. I saw that the road led to the vision. Here's how we're addressing the problems in some of the different sections, but it never, at the end, maybe sums up. Maybe you do a page vision. That would do it. Ian, was that you? Or just saying, yeah, I like it, or your comment?
I do. Question though, I think it speaks to something that Commissioner Ross Messler said, something that informs the vision. On page 43, there is a population change figure 3.1. How did you arrive at those projections, at those extrapolations of current trends? What is informing that figure?
I'll just jump in. So our office does actually all the population projections for Genesee County. So we have a long process that goes through, and there's actually a whole technical report that goes into the detail on how we get to those population projections. But there's a bunch of different factors that go in, and then we actually truth check that with our local units to see what new kind of development they're having. Do they have any demos? Unfortunately, the biggest driver of population loss is actually household size.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I grew up, and buses would stop at my road, and they would pick up 2 or 3 or 4 kids at every house. That same bus that goes by my house where I live now picks up a kid or 2 every few stops. And so nationwide, and even more in Michigan, that household size drop is really affecting our populations. And so we have most communities, their housing, they could be 100% occupied in houses and have less population. And I think that's hard for people to understand, because there's always this direct correlation. In order to lose population, you must have abandoned houses, demoed houses. And so that's what we're seeing on the population.
Isn't that connected to the aging population? Like, for example, my parents, who are in their 70s, had 4 people that lived in their house. And today, there's only 2 people that live in that same house because my brother and I moved out. So, like, it's just about
It is
aging.
It's aging, but the other key piece is
less kids.
people aren't getting married quite as much. And if they do get married, they're not having large families or any families. So there's a lot of younger people that are just not having kids, or having 1 kid or 2 instead of. So yeah, it's a combo.
There is, somebody can probably point me to it because I couldn't do it in a million years right now, but there is a section that does say all of the information is based on studies that we do in technical reports. Somewhere in here where there is that statement that it's all based on the information that we have, and that's how we compiled what you're going to read in here. It seems like it was more towards the end, but maybe it was up front.
And the challenge with any document. So I had a conversation yesterday with somebody, and this is seems like a thick document, because it is. We also do have to meet all our federal state requirements. If we were to put all of our technical reports with the document, you're going to get pretty healthy. The intent is, after, when we come for the final approval, we will have like that 10 or 12 pager, which I think will help, because for a reader to get through this, it's hard to get that consistent messaging across. Where if I got 12 pages, I can pick what to put in those 12 pages.
Kind of lost me, but Mike, I thought you were going for a different 12 pages. When I read it online, there are financial reports that we don't have here.
That's for our Federal Highways for Financial Constraint requires those financial pages.
I was blown away when I saw that, because we get all this, and now, here's all the financials. This is really complete. But then when I saw it this morning,
That we just tried to, for ease of paper, for this group, we just wanted to give something that people could hold on to.
Other comments? Okay, I am going to send in some of the numerical changes I think need to be made. 2 full legal pads pages, and I only got to page 25 on it, so but maybe that'll serve some things. But there are some critiques I have and a lot of compliments because I thought it was phenomenal. I thought the original one we did was really good, and this just blows it away. For the fun stuff, page 29, here's your quiz. Somebody tell me, top right corner, who is that and what does he do?
Disc golf.
Yeah. And you can do critiques on his technique privately.
Nice photo credit over there.
That's true.
I'll tell you what, that is fun. I've done a lot of disc golf. I want to give credit. Everybody, it's a personal thing, but if you stick on 29, that's the bottom right corner is one of my 2 favorite pictures. Drew got just a beautiful picture from Fenton Township. And the most intriguing one, I thought, if I page through, I'll probably find it because I didn't bring my notes, but it was Miles Robler. Got a kind of an aerial view of Household Hazardous Waste Day. I really like that. So those 2 pictures are my award winners. Thank you. Page 56. But overall, I mean, I think that it's really great. I did get confused, I got to admit, and one of my notes is, what's going on with first impression? Because a bunch of pages all at once say first impression. And automatically, I did it again this morning to see if anything changed. The table of contents doesn't say anything about first impression. So I didn't quite get it. It didn't go through to me. So you guys can table or talk about whatever you want on that. It was distracting to all of a sudden see a bunch of pages that are labeled first impression, and I thought, well, all right, maybe. But I didn't get it. I know I made the comment about the financial documents being really great. And then most of my grammar comments are changing passive voice to active voice, things like that, or awkward phrases. So I'll just send those in. I'll send it over. But really, really solid work. It shows a lot of time put into it, and a lot of quality thought about everything. The sad part is most people will see about 10 to 15 pages, and it really is a solid piece of work. Anyone else? Hearing none? All right, we have a motion to approve the draft of our county, our master plan for Genesee County. That's been supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Thank you. That's a really nice piece of work. Congratulations to staff, and we look forward to seeing the finished product. Next up, we did the Burton Master Plan.
Yes, contract vouchers.
Thank you. Is that your son, Cody? No, it's actually my brother. Okay.
I'll let him know though.
So we still don't have a financial report. We're waiting on year-end information for our financial report, but we do have our contract vouchers.
Okay, so let's proceed
So before you, totaling a little over $94,000. The big expenses in there are finishing up payments for our US 23 quarter study, and then some funding for DLZ for our architectural services for the recycling and education center.
Concerning contracts, vouchers, and bills.
Support.
Been supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Expenses and per diems.
Support.
Supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? That passes. Move into our project status reports under old business. Start with the transportation report. Morning, Sheila.
Morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Transportation staff has compiled the annual list of projects. It shows all the projects that were obligated in the last fiscal year. That was about a $71 million investment. That is higher than our previous year. 2024 was about 65 million, just for reference. The list is up on our website. We also have completed the pavement condition collection, and we're working on reports for that, and I can update you on those as soon as those are complete. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Approve.
Been supported. Discussion. Questions for Sheila? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes.
We have closed out the City of Burton Senior Center project. They did an addition to the garage. They put an outdoor pergola, and they did some bathroom upgrades. The KCI sewer project is also, the county funding has been spent. The project is getting close to being complete. But that project puts sewer access in a big part of the eastern side of Genesee County. So a huge commitment there. And we're happy that our funding, the county's funding was spent on that. Lake Fenton Schools also connected the schools to the water system, so that project is complete. And the projects seem to be moving along. We do have until the end of this year to spend those funds. I'm happy to answer any questions. Move to approve.
Supported. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Thanks, Sheila. All right, Jacob's got the environmental program report. He's just been sitting there practicing his technique.
Yeah. That was Damon, though. That wasn't me.
Oh, that, you're just jealous.
I submitted a few photos and then I got one chosen.
It was a good picture, though.
Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
So an update on the Recycling Education Center. So our architect's still working on the design. I would say on the budget side, they're about 50% complete from that line item, but we're still working towards those, I would say that 60% level design. We have some changes on the layout, looking at square footage, making sure it's the right size the facility that we need. That ties directly into the immersive experience that we're looking to have in the building. So we're working with Exhibits, which is the name of the company that we the consultant we've hired. They have a sub-consultant, R&P, that is their specialty is that experience and telling the story to the audience. So We want it to be something that people come and they want to come back to. So now that we have them together, we're really starting to get in the conversation of, do we need to push this wall this way? Do we need to have electrical or plumbing this side? Looking at the building and the flow of it. So we're getting much closer to that. Another quick update is we did get our construction manager. We got 10 proposals this past month, all from Michigan. We included the city that the company was located in. We're taking our time a little bit on these. We want to make sure that, one, there's a lot to look at, and every company does a little bit differently. And just from experience, I know Derek and other members of the county have had recent experience on some large projects. We want to make sure that we find the right person that can lead the project and keep us under budget. We expect that we'll have some interviews in the next month, and then bring forward a recommendation. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Get a motion on the table if there is one.
Or
Moved and supported. Discussion and questions. I'm going to lead off just by making a blanket statement that the list of construction managers includes companies that I represent. So I'm not going to make any comments about who's good, who's bad, or anything like that. One question I have, though, is that because we're going down the construction manager road, a lot of companies make more of a profit. They're paid as a construction manager, but they make more money because there are several types of trade work that they do. For example, a lot of the companies, whether they're construction managers or whether they're the general contractor, if they can do a project in-house, it brings in more profits to them. So, for example, a company may do the construction manager work and then also say, well, we're going to do all the flat work. And that seems to be a popular one that they do. My question is, has there been any conversation about whether or not that should be prohibited with this construction manager?
I'm not sure on the prohibited, but and Derek, feel free to chime in. I know that we have been looking at carefully. We don't want them doing work, the construction manager, their team. So if they have, we want them focused on finding the right people to do the work, the companies. And so that is one factor that we're evaluating, whether or not they have listed out another staff person or other people on site. So yeah, we I don't want to get into the word prohibit, but it is a factor within the existing score.
Dead on, so that's good. I appreciate that. That's going to be part of the package that the architect provides is the invitation to bid.
Yeah, Genesee County requires that. That's a board policy.
And then another question that I have, are any of the
So Genesee County has language in purchasing regulations that there's a lot of depends, but it depends on pricing and how close, and there's some stuff there. That's something that we have to be very mindful of, but there is some language in the policy that does allow there's a lot of nuances in that, so I don't want not the purchasing administrator. So
we've also talked about going down the road with the construction manager as a way to do a multi-phase project, allowing smaller contractors to be able to bid because there's a smaller chunk that they'll be performing under their bonding capacities. has the architect outlined what those phases will be?
Not at this point. We've really just outlined what the role is of the CM and what we would expect from them through the RFP and that scope, but not to that level yet.
But we do have a scope for the CM.
Can you explain the interview process? I heard you say that we are going to start interviewing hopefully in the next month or so. Can you talk about who's in the room, what kind of framework they have when we do the interviews?
So we'll start first with we have a board of reviewers that score all the proposals, and then we'll get it down to I think we'll try to do 3, and then we'll have we'll invite who's in the room would be Derek, Josh, our facilities and operations team, Ray and Bill, as well as probably a member of our staff at the very least, and then we'll invite the purchasing manager as well. So that would be the team interviewing. I haven't seen that.
I was just thinking some of the things that Alan just brought up is a different perspective than what some of the people in that room might have. I don't know. But that probably comes from your level of expertise. You do that. Yeah.
We will, in what we anticipate, what we're going to request when we request those to come in for an interview is that the person that's actually going to be on site is be in the room. We want to meet them. We don't want somebody from their company doing a pitch.
Something that you even have time to consider being part of the interviews, but I would, you're on site for jobs. You know how they're run. Questions that probably should be asked. A lot of technology nowadays, so.
To answer one of your other questions, Commissioner, is we make sure, and it's policy, we just make sure that we ask the same questions too. So we'll make sure with all the reviewers that they have a set standard of questions, and it's based off the established score sheet in the scope.
Thanks for putting the cities next to the construction companies too. That's helpful.
You don't vary at all from the list of questions.
Depends what the answer is.
Yeah, it depends what they provide.
We have a standard list of questions. Once we get to that short list of 2 or 3 applicants, like, it's standardized at that point, because usually it's like how that person's going to approach it. There may be, and I guess the one change may be the difference of questions. Maybe if it's like in their proposal they said this, and we have a question about something specific. But that'll be tied, like, if this firm over here has, this many people and this many hours and doing activities, and this firm has something different. So it'll be tied if there is differences in the proposals, just so because we want to make sure when we're doing these elections, it's a fair process.
Would we put something in the contract that provides some sort of incentive or disincentive for finishing by a particular date?
So for the construction contracts, the question about if the last contract that we had did on the demolition, I'll just talk about that. there was actually a time it had to be finished by, and if it wasn't finished by that date, project. That is something that ultimately this contract goes to the County Board of Commissioners. We're going to work with our Corporation Council drafting that contract, but there will probably be something as far as a date in there. The county at this point has not done incentives before. That's an option as well.
Dealing with is legally termed liquidated damages. Everybody agrees that if you don't come in on schedule, it's so much a day that gets charged extra because there is a cost, and it's hard to calculate the exact cost to having a project go over. Sometimes you get pushback from contractors, or you just beat them to the punch by also offering incentives, which are the opposite of liquidated damages. You're saving money because you're completed by a certain date, and for every day or week in advance that they finish the job, there's a bonus, if you will. So it's a decent way to do things. There's incentive there for people to get done early and under budget, or depending on how far you want to take it, if it's just schedule or if it's budget as well. Construction manager, those are things that I would hope that we think about. Almost universally, big projects have liquidated damages, contractual liquidated damages. The hard part comes when someone else's fault or there's one weak link in the chain. Tough to pull the trigger and say, sorry, you missed your timeline. Problem that you knew wasn't their fault. It was somebody down the line. That's where it gets tough, or where they say, owner, you didn't give us input. We asked for input on this. It sat on your desk for a month. You delayed the project. Those are the defenses to liquidated damages. It happens. Project in a certain school district where a change sat on the school superintendent's desk after having been signed by the architect and by the construction manager, and sat on the superintendent's desk for 21 days in the fall when they were trying to beat the freeze. 21 days in the fall means you're into the freeze. So those are the types of things that come back in claims on those issues.
Giving my thinking legal proper term, liquidated damages. Thank you.
Incentives the proper term too.
Okay.
Clauses. Any other comments? We got waylaid into construction.
That's good though, because we want to. We've not done this type of project before with this style. So if there's comments and feedback, this is where we want to get them before we enter into the process of selection and contract.
We have a motion and support to approve the environmental program update report. Discussion's now closed. All in favor say aye. Any abstentions say nay. Excuse me.
Abstention say nay.
Let's start the vote over. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. The CD program report.
Mr. Chair. So staff is making progress. We've had scheduling. We have one remaining contractor signed on our block grant for the 25 program, which is really good. We have that scheduled in the next week. We have completed all of our subrecipient monitoring visits. Those have gone over well, and any corrections or additional documents, we've been communicating us actually just yesterday started our first signing for our 25 ESG contracts. So everything's moving forward, and we're also looking at ways that we can improve our communication with communities this year to be more of a resource. It's been a few years since we've been using the program, and just keeping reminders as staff changes at the municipal level. So happy to answer any questions.
Is there a motion concerning the report? Moved and supported. Questions, discussion? That's brushing your hair, not raising your hand. That's what you get for laughing at me. Okay, discussion is closed. We have a motion that's been supported. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. Are there any abstentions? CD report passes. Board of Director Coordinator.
I just wanted to thank all the talented staff at the Planning Commission for our county, our future master plan. McKenna, Dan, they put their heart and soul into this summary document. Every other staff in the office actually wrote technical reports, reviewed stuff, looked at stuff, and most importantly, we really wanted this to be appreciate feedback and comments because that's how we can strengthen this. But we really wanted to, these are all pictures in Genesee County, right? These are all pictures that are taken by staff, taken by people in the community. And I think sometimes we forget in Genesee County, we are the 5th largest county in the state. We have a heck of a lot going for us, and we have a lot of big transformational projects that are happening. And I think sometimes we get mired in this daily kind of slog, and we forget, like when we talk about the advanced manufacturing district, tell me another county, like we were a finalist for one of the top manufacturers out there, right? So that is a jewel that we have in our county that I can go around the state and I'm not going to find a piece of property that has one owner at that location with the services provided. And so for me, I'm just proud of the hard work that, because as staff, it's our long range plan or master plan steering committee that put into this, and I'm excited to, we'll make the tweaks we need to. We'll get this out for public comment, and more importantly, get to the implementation side. And I will encourage, go to the implementation side. There are actual very specific things under implementation that we're going to be focusing on to actually. I just wanted to thank all the staff. They're just incredible, talented people.
And they are. There's no question. Going and going and going. I've got to do the other end of it too. I've got to do something to try and make it even stronger.
I just want to applaud Derek for his leadership department because I don't think any of this would have been possible without your leadership. And somebody has to wrangle all this information together, right? And so, in any other situation, this report would have cost easily $250,000.
$2 million.
$2 million.
Yes, the reports that we're comparing to in the country are $1.5 million to $2.5 million, done by a consultant.
Wow. So that deserves some applause because for us to have that talent and to do this kind of report in-house is phenomenal. And yeah, if it saved the county about $2 million, then that's the cherry on top.
Anything else on your report? Okay. Is there a motion concerning the report of the director? And supported. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Go to commissioner comments. Start with the parks.
Parks. Friday, I attended holiday opening at Crossroads, train ride, tree lighting. I really enjoyed that. I hadn't done that since my kids were little, so I enjoyed that. The rest of the parks are charging ahead. There's different programs. We're having a bat, how did they term it? We're going to put up bat houses in a pilot project to help kill mosquitoes. That's in the planning process right now. We're going to have a pilot project in Holloway on park property with a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout group to build them, and hope to have a meeting early January to charge that ahead.
Imagine if the county parks did a fundraising drive saying, adopt a bat house to kill mosquitoes. Probably get a lot of people.
Our horticulturist at or naturalist at Ormar's helping, and it's been very helpful.
And
I
then-
don't have one single tree.
And then like possum boxes for ticks. That's the next thing.
That's I guess that's a
Okay. Other commissioner comments? I'll have one. I mean, there's a lot going through my head because I took so much time on this thing, and then I didn't sleep because my daughter's called. But I saw a comment last night on. We're talking about Simon Cowell. Several other things. Talks about how he's just so spot on with his critique. And somebody punched in and commented, criticism is important when you give any type of criticism to also do the other end of it. Talk about what's good, because what you're trying to do productively gets lost if you don't show that you're balanced. Thought that was a really great comment from an average Joe, and he's completely right. So it's easy, as I sat there going through and saying, "Oh man, change this sentence around and say this a lot better," and then I said, "There's so much good here, so don't get lost in that. Don't get lost in finding good things. There's so much good in here, and it is a draft plan, which is." Far less than this. That just as a comment, I'm going to try and keep that in mind all the time. My other comment is, it looks like I will miss the meeting in March. Well, and if not, then we'll talk to Debbie. But yeah, my daughter's told me last night we're not going to be around. It is what it is. I have 2 spring breaks left. I have no teenagers in the house. Closing in on graduation. Any other commissioner comments? I missed it. Sorry.
Very quickly, I'll literally echo the chair's praise of this document here, and praise for the work of the team. Obviously, we've moved this forward now to the county commissioners as a draft document. What is our mode of commenting on this at this point? Informal, I'm sure, but what's the best way to comment on this?
Yeah, so any commissioners, if you have comments, you can email myself, Renata. We'll take those comments and incorporate those. All comments, once we get all the comments, because this is going to all the local units of government, counties around us, so we are going to get comments. They end up going back through the process. I would assume the majority of comments. I think absolutely open. So just send them to myself or Renata, and we'll
Along that line, Tyler brought up the question about vision, and it is, sort of a staple item that should probably be front and center. My question, I wonder if we could take a minute, just a minute, to go around the table and ask each person what their vision is for the county.
Let's do it. We can do it. You're not obligated to do it.
Well, I know because I work with the broadband task force in particular, and for broadband and looking at the other cities and models who have done broadband, they have increased their population. If they've done it well, they've increased their population by, anywhere between 3 and 30% because of their increased broadband. So that would be my vision that you know broadband in particular, and each one of these projects might have a different vision, housing vision, the broadband vision, all of that. So, but at the end of the day, I would hope that my vision of improving the quality of life and improving our, increasing our population would add more to our tax base, allowing us to do the things that will help, improve our play, the way we live, and our health. Because health, there's a major intersection between health and economics. And we have an economist from MSU coming to talk to us on December 10th about that intersection. And so we have to do a better job of improving the health of our citizens, because healthcare is directly correlated to economics. And so I just have a vision of having a healthy Genesee County with more people and a better quality of life.
Well, I echo those comments on health. Reading that we were 82nd out of 83 counties.
Yes.
Guessing Wayne, we beat Wayne, I'm guessing. The other county is, but
Yeah, that comment
I was
jumped out.
surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised with
And we spend more money per capita too on health with our millage and everything, and we still have poor healthcare outcomes.
But echoing what you said about population, quality of life will keep people here. Having broadband will keep people here. Losing people, and that's money running out the door. Stopping that population loss, improving quality of life. That is the vision or the goal, I guess.
It's hard. Visions are hard because they take decades to reach. And plans are certainly not going to be decades long. I think the Forward Together vision of 40 Genesee County as a top 5 community based on powerful, measurable, based on the business leaders for Michigan's goal of Michigan being the top 10, like Derek said. We're the 5th most populated state. I always want to live into our top 5-ness. But I think it's a hard thing to describe because it's about prosperity for the residents of Genesee County. That includes their health, that includes their income, that includes like their livability, and so it's a hard nebulous picture to paint. That's where I kind of
Good. It wasn't a problem.
Yeah, I'll say my vision for 2050 is abundant opportunities for young people and for young families in particular, and finally harnessing these wonderful educational institutions that we have, and keeping people here in Genesee County. It's mentioned here in this plan, I noticed, but it is such a huge issue. I think it's probably my biggest issue is in my thinking about how we move forward as a county. But it's keeping people here, and especially young people, and so that's opportunities for them, and as far as careers, but also in having places that they want to live, and so positive, growing, vibrant communities, where there are things for people to do, and places to go, and interesting things to see, and that keep people here, that people want to be here, and that's my vision.
That's important.
Hey, this is all good stuff. This is all going in the book. This is all going in the book.
We'll pay your Social Security.
You are always judged by how well you treat your elders. Any other thoughts?
I had no. That was really good.
Comments?
Plug Flushing Candle Walk is this Thursday and Friday. It's going to be very cold, but we do have our luminaries that will light the streets in Flushing. It's a beautiful thing to see if you've never been. It's a lot of work, and I'd love to see some familiar faces.
Walk. They picked the worst day.
I might not put that in.
All right. Just have a blessed holiday season, everybody. Protect yourselves, drive safely.